Hey YouTubers. Well, I wasn't planning on filming today, but I was up getting water this morning, and this lady who was in a tent, I noticed her maybe a month ago. An older woman, and it's not even really a tent, I don't think. And she was camped right close to the water, obviously, because she needed to, and she didn't seem to have any vehicle or anybody around her. I just would notice if I went up there for anything. And she asked me this morning, if I could take her to town and go to a few groceries in the post office. And I said, sure, as long as you can wait till I'm done with my animals. So I'm going to go up and see. She was going to try to find other people also, but I'd like to hear her story, you know? I mean, why is she out here when she could be, if she's obviously appears to be homeless, she could be in town where there's social services and amenities instead of out here in the desert where she's dependent on people to help her. I don't understand why she's out here. But maybe she'll tell me her story and what's going on. I'm not going to judge, because there by the grace of God go all of us. So I don't think she's dangerous. I brought my pepper spray. Let's go see if she found anybody. Anyway, people have already, she said, reported her to the office for being poor, is what she says. And I don't think it's because she's poor, it's because she's obviously homeless, and this is supposed to be a camping area. But you know what? There's a lot of people out here that are homeless. I just know it. And they're living in their cars and such. Her problem is she didn't have a nice looking tent. If she had a nice looking tent, no one would care. So, you know, there's judgments for all segments of society, even tenters, even RVers. I mean, I'm at a certain level just because I'm driving a 99 RV. But you know what? I'll give you, I would back my 99 Newmar against a lot of these newer ones. They're just not quality. I would like to do something about the body of mine, like at least paint those stripes or something. When Bob and Lisa were visiting, Bob showed me a good wax he has, and I was impressed. Wait, is she gone? Oh, she's down that way. I gotta do my trash. Well, maybe I should pick her up first. I think she's down here. Here's her setup. See if I can pick it up. I'm not even sure if she's in a tent. What's your name? I never did get your name.
Diane.
Diane.
Yeah.
Candace or Candy, whatever, on Candy's Catmobile.
Why I asked you that about Indiana? Because when I lived in... What do is privacy, because my people come from Europe, and right now why Ukraine is
From where?
Europe.
Where's
why
that?
Ukraine is being destroyed right now is my family, my mother's family, had the throne of Satan there for 300 years.
Had a what?
Throne of Satan. They're very satanic, the Ukrainians. And so there's a Greek church. But one of the churches in the Bible has the throne of Satan, and it's a Greek church. Yeah. They were Greek Catholics, but they had the throne of Satan. And every generation they offered one of their sons to Satan, and they offered some of their sons to death to Satan. And so what it was is the other side of my family was running the Hungarian regime.
So who brought you to the desert?
I ran. be taking me back. He's supposed to send 2 people here, and they're supposed to rebuild the house here where I'm at, and they're all supposed to get all back the possessions that I had, and then he's going to Congress for religious persecution. That's what he's doing.
So wait, who drove you here to the desert? How'd you get your stuff here?
I got hit by car, and then I was on the road, laying alongside the road for 2 days.
The hospital tried to start you?
You don't understand how big miracles I do.
Yeah.
So anyhow, the woman in the Bible, the woman killed with the son. Why? Is because when I was born half a cult and half big people in Europe. And so what happened was my mother's family and her tried to kill me by putting a black blanket on my bed to induce crib death. And then after 3 months, when I started dying, I was taken to Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, and they saw I was dying from lack of light, so they put three sunlights on me and wrapped me in flannel to bring me back to life. And then they told my mother they knew I was being abused, and she said she was bringing people in to take care of me, which was her 2 teenage brothers and sister, who also were raised in the occult. And then from then on, I had horrible abuse to them until I got away from them. The resurrected person, what happens to them is they go to cycle, then they get remade when they're old.
It sounds like reincarnation.
Well, that's part of everything. The Jewish belief is that your life is in the life of your children and your ancestors. So if you die and you don't make it, and God burns you up, you still had the life that was good before you were angry. So that's Jewish belief, but it's actually how they believe everybody's saved in the end. They believe that through that the blessed bloodlines are saved. And if you know Isaiah, that's what it says in Isaiah. He was only willing to save 1/10.
Well, I don't read the Old Testament much.
Anyhow, that's who I am. So they wanted to see. They knew I was a virgin and I have 2 children, but that's in the Bible that I'm a virgin and I have 2 children. That's where he says, "Who raised those children?" But I'm awfully a virgin. I'm an unpenetrated virgin. I tried to get married, and unfortunately, when we tried to have sex beforehand, the guy pretty much lost his mind because he talked to my children all the time. Knew I had 2 children, and he found out I was an unpenetratable virgin. He was the son of a chief in Taos, New Mexico, and so what happened is I was living, and we were supposed to have a big wedding on July 10th, and all he kept doing was sitting there saying, "She's a virgin. How can she be a virgin? That's 2 children. How can she be a virgin?" So anyhow, it led to who believed me was Biden. So that's why Biden doesn't address everything, because he's one of the shepherds. And so being one of the shepherds, he's not addressing all of the problems because he knows very shortly he's going to be the marriage supper of the beast. Before that, I leave there, we're going to have the marriage supper of the Lamb. And all the Trump people who have been trying to kill me since I got there are going to be destroyed.
Why would the Trump people try to kill you?
I don't know, but there's QAnons. There was
Trump's a good
11
guy.
of them behind me.
He's a good guy.
They are losers like you wouldn't believe. Those QAnon people. I measured.
Who's Q? The people who run Quartzsite?
QAnon. Travel over there, but they left because they lied on the warrants. They said, they asked them if I wanted to get the money. They wanted $250. When I come out, she said, "I'm not selling it till April 15th when I leave." Then she come back and said, "I said to give it to you for nothing." Then she went away, and then the inspector came and I heard the conversation. They told the inspector that I got no money and they have to financially keep me. They have to give me food, clothes, everything. And the tent wasn't decent, but nobody knows it because it's being hit by the tarp. And they told them that...
What's being hit by the tarp?
The tent. The tent.
Oh, you have a tent in there?
Yeah, so they said that it was not decent, but nobody knows it because I got hit by the torp, and they said that when they tried to get a warrant and say that I have no money to support myself, then I put up a sign saying that I don't need charity. But the guy believed them, and he left, and he told them to go 1/4 down on the road and sign up on papers and to sign their name that I cannot financially take care of myself and they're taking care of me, which is the right. I came here right from the hospital, and St. Vincent brought me, because I'm a retired minister. St. Vincent brought me from Parker.
Where are we going first?
To the post office.
Okay. That's left, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So St. Vincent brought me, and I was bad shape because I left the hospital because they tried to put me in the mental health system. So I left the hospital and 2 black and then I'm on the street and I can hardly walk. I got hit by a car.
Why don't you let somebody help you get a place to stay?
Because then I have an address for a warrant.
Huh?
Then I have an address for a warrant. And the person who rented to me can put me away. So I don't do that.
There's no warrants for your arrest, is there? Just go get a place
warrant
to live.
that you're financially incompetent or you're incompetent. But if you rent from somebody, they have the right to do that. They have the legal right to say you're financially incompetent or you're incompetent.
Well,
They can't say I'm mentally ill. I got a court order and they violated it 13 times. And I got caught, and Biden is keeping them from doing it again. So Biden told them they could only get me for financial incompetency.
well, all I know is that if you were in a city where there's resources and
I've been in cities. What it is I've done big miracles. I mean, my skin grew all over my body at one moment. So that's scary, but that's in the Bible. That's what happens to who? Do you know the Bible? Who does that happen to?
skin all over their body.
Who goes through the fire at the end of time?
Oh,
Jacob's
Jacob.
bloodline. And that's what I am. So what I am is, my people were Jews.
Wait a minute, wasn't it?
Jacob.
He's the one who walked through the fire?
Jacob, he says he put Jacob through the fire in ancient prophecy, and he
Okay.
begins to chastise Jacob's bloodline in one body.
Yeah.
He said he was going to cleanse one woman so that she would have babies and have eternal life. And that's me. And so my father's birth father is Jeremiah Weiss.
Oh my word, people. I think she's schizophrenic. She's obviously delusional. And now I'm feeling like, is she safe? I saw her start to get angry when I was asking her pointed questions about her situation. So I just have to go with the flow and listen to her. But unfortunately, I had to go back and get my purse thing, phone carrier with my cards in it, so she knows where I live. She could literally walk over there, but it sounds like she was in a, like, laying on the street and they took her to a hospital and then they dumped her back out here. But is that what they do here, around here? Because they know you can camp here for like 7 months out of the year. They just dump homeless people out here when they don't know what else to do. I don't know, but scares me. I don't know. She needs to get someplace where there's resources, because there are resources in a lot of cities to help people who want help. But I think she's really mental and probably needs to be in a place that deals with it, or on meds. They say if you take meds for schizophrenia, you know, you can be fairly normal. But I guess the complaint with schizophrenics is it makes you feel emotionally dead. There's no highs, there's no lows, there's no, you know, you're just kind of like zombied. That was years ago, though. You'd think they'd have that ironed out by now, but I'm kind of nervous. But I did bring my bear spray. You know, I was so glad I brought it when she started talking crazy. Well, I don't know how much of this I'm going to post. It just totally depresses me. It really does. It sounds like someone reported her to that front little office when you come out of the campground. You can't just live in that little, it's not even a tent. It's tarp with something holding it up in the middle. And you can't live there through the heat of the summer and then We had one cold rainy night when she was here. She didn't even have a gas buddy. Someone gave her a bunch of ski clothes. What is she doing in that place all day? I mean, I just have something else to worry about now. You know?
When I play. And so I got a scholarship on one of the 10 best pianists in the whole world. And it was
Really?
Alexander.
That's a hard instrument to
And
master.
actually he made the recordings. Yes. So I studied classical music. And so I play honky tonk, but I'm pretty good. So anyhow, train feeling as freighted as my jeans. Oh, Baba thundered the diesel down just before it rained. Took us all away to New Orleans. I pulled my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana. I sing a song while Bobby sang the blues. When she'll ever slap in time, Bobby's body close to mine. We sang our song that driver knew. Reason, just another word for nothing left to lose. Oh, nothing but honey is free. Feeling good was easy now when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby Monkey. I sing this one. So it should be just up here. So they destroyed me. I was working for a fancy servant agency for rich people.
Yeah.
I was working more than full time. But here's what really destroyed me. I'm over there. What really destroyed me is I married somebody in the mafia. But I was first family, and so I thought I was equal to him, according to my dad's family. My name is Samancic. I was equal to him. They had 22,000 acres down in South Carolina. He's abroad then. One of 13 people, the first militia was his great ancestor.
Yeah.
He also came from Jamestown, Virginia. 22,000 acres, 6 at the bell. His grandmother was married to his grandfather. His grandfather died and she had a 2-year-old child. She was 17 when she married him. He was 42. She lived with his cousin in one of the big mansions, who was a widow, for 6 years, and she ran off with a mafia guy.
Interesting.
So his father and him was mafia. So when he told me he was going to take a job going to West Virginia to kill women who refused to take protection from the mafia, I refused to stay with him, and I was a dummy. I didn't know you couldn't leave mafia, but now I'm telling him why. I'm telling him I'm not going to be a part of murder.
Yeah.
So what do you think happened? He got me wrongfully diagnosed, and for 21 years I was in the damn mental health system, drugged up like it. And they were doing them off.
Yeah.
They diagnosed me with
Schizophrenia.
but why? Is they said I believed in a God. So every time they put me in a hospital, and every time, then I got a court order, was notifiable that I was never.
Why don't you take medication?
Because Biden looked it up. We found the court order. They had hid the court order. Biden found it. He forced them to make it public to anybody who wants to see it, because they were arresting
Who
me.
cares?
13 times sitting rotten in a mental hospital. I want to see the sun in this.
No, but you're too old to get a job, so why do you
Why?
care if
I
it's
don't
on your
care.
record?
Because Biden is ready to finish. He's going to uncover the Trump
Yeah.
assisted the mafia against me. Yep. That's what he
Right.
done.
All
And
right.
I don't know how many attempted murders, and every time they come to do something about the murders, what they tell me, look, we try to help you, but the president won't let us arrest your guy because he's a drug person
Yeah.
down in Yuma.
I hear you.
So they cut off a line to an air conditioner, put it over my face. So guess what? The electric company had the reports, and Biden got it.
All right. Well, God bless you.
So
Diane.
what's going to happen?
Good
is,
luck to you.
So Biden, he said on the radio, he swears that before he's able to run, he's going to uncover just how evil he is. And what's he going to uncover? That he assisted the mafia against the mafia wife, and his whole country knows what
Yeah.
they've done to me. Now you see, 4 times they tried them. They tried to arrest me. Human Services, they're the ones that wrongfully diagnosed me. They burnt up.
So, they're the ones coming out tomorrow to help you? To
Help
go-
me.
You said someone's taking you to town.
Biden's sending 2 protection agencies. They're packing this up. They're taking me to Pennsylvania. They're going to give me a contract to rebuild the house out here in the west,
Okay.
and they're also getting back all my possessions. Because
All right.
I had, when my husband, Biden ran after my husband in '84, they called him Death. That's what he called him. He ran after him after he got Scarface and 2 cousins. He was a senator in Pennsylvania. When he ran after him, he asked me to testify and give names. I did refuse to do it.
What was your last name? Semantic?
Semantic. I gave him the names. So he got 3 names of bosses in Western Pennsylvania that was in Georgia, West Virginia, meth, where that's what they were trying to hide. They were sending stuff overseas.
Okay,
So
I gotta go.
Trump will be destroyed. And anyhow,
God bless
I'll
you.
be set free. But also, anybody who supported him and his aggressive trade will be in the marriage supper of the Lamb. There'll be the flesh that's being eaten up by the birds. He's the Antichrist. That's who he is.
Diane, if they give you meds, please take them.
If I give you a match, I'll
They give you meds.
I'll lift up my hands and curse the damn ass.
Bye, Diane.
I will anyhow. I'm going to lift up my hand and curse as soon as
All
you
right.
do.
Oh my word. Oh, people. I definitely have to. I thought she told me she had someone coming out, and she didn't want to go shopping. She went and got cash out of the ATM, went to the post office, and then she said she didn't feel. She walked into Roadrunner but didn't buy anything. Just used the ATM, and then she said she didn't feel good. She wanted to go home. I said, "Are you sure?" Because I'm not running. I'm not her taxi service. And you heard her. She said she had meds, but they didn't do right by her, and I know. I've heard that. Let's see, where am I at? You can't make people take their drugs, or can you? Have they passed a law yet now that they can force you to take meds when you're that bad? I knew she was schizophrenic. Oh my word. I don't know how she's gonna survive. Would it sound unchristian if I said I just can't take this on? This is a serious issue that's been ongoing, and there's a lot of people in her peripheral that should be doing something, but I can't take on her cause. I have my plate full. I have 2 cats I have to figure out how to get fixed. Need to figure out if I'll have enough gas money to get to Indiana. And how I'm going to tow my car, get someone to help me. They'll probably bleed me money. It's like, I can't take on this lady's problems. But I will talk to that guy at the head office because someone else has already said something. So I'm just going to ask him if they shouldn't find out who her people are. She's got to have somebody. I'm definitely going to put her on my prayer list. Her name's Diane, if you all want to pray. For a walk? Come on. Come on. Come get a cookie. Daisy. Birdies. Hey, birdies. Are you happy, birdies? Hey, birdie. Birdie, birdie. Hey, birdie, are you happy?